right now. Ahsoka is surrounded by idiots. Complete utter idiots. She's surrounded by idiots, and the people in the Star Wars universe are so stupid. So stupid. And for those of you who have been with Star Wars for a while, you know that, these big franchises, they have their ups and downs. Star Wars hasn't always been perfect. We think about the prequels, right? We had a lot of cringe dialogue from Anakin saying he hates sand and his dry performance, and there's a lot of things in Star Wars that we can complain about. However, I'm sure a lot of you would agree, compared to the stuff that Disney is now giving us, maybe the prequels now actually look kind of good. They're still cringe, but I would argue that they're actually having a bit more appeal to them as time goes on. And so Disney's let us down a lot. So Star Wars hasn't always been perfect. There's always been some flaws here and there, except for the original trilogy. But even then, you could argue that the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi make it a bit more of a kiddie-friendly movie as opposed to Empire Strikes Back, which was more gritty. So there's a debate there as well between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Which one is better? We're going to save that for another video. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to get to that. But, of course, a man who has done us great justice in the Star Wars community is Dave Filoni. Here he is on screen. He's a great writer. I know he's written Star Wars Clone Wars, and he's written Star Wars Rebels. I personally haven't seen those shows yet, but I got you guys. I'm going to watch them, going to review them. We're going to talk about them a lot on this channel. But this man has written and taken care of Star Wars fans for a while. He's written some very, very good work. And so we were all very excited leading up to the debut of the Ahsoka TV show. It's essentially a Rebels Season 5, and this man has been in charge of some of the best Star Wars has ever been, depending on who you ask. So we're all very, very excited. And I want to say up front that I really admire Dave Filoni. I think he's great, and I'm always very cautious about criticizing people who are doing things that I've never done, things that I cannot do. And so it is with great respect and admiration that I gotta say I'm a little disappointed in the Ahsoka TV series. It's not total trash, not by any means, not yet. I'm not mad that it's mostly women because the main male characters from Rebels were killed off and we have to go find them. I'm not mad about that at all. But I'm a little disappointed because some of these characters are really freaking stupid, and they don't have to be. It's just writing. It's just a writing technique, and as much as I have respect for Dave Filoni, I feel a little bit let down. For example, in the beginning of episode 1, the Rebels cruiser sees an unidentified ship with an older Jedi code, and they're like, oh, they're clearly not Jedi. We're transporting a high-value prisoner. Let's just let these random people on the ship and see what happens. And it's like, who in their right mind would do that? You're a military convoy transporting a high-value prisoner, and these random people we don't know. Let's just let them onto our ship. Why? Why would you do that? Like, it's very, very, they are very stupid. And I would also argue that Hara, the general, is stupid. In episode 2, she put a tracking beacon on the Empire's getaway ship, taking a massive hyperdrive to who knows where. She put a tracking device on it, which was very smart, by the way. And she wants to go and check it out. She's a general, the head of the military. But no, she walks up to the senators and goes, can I please go over there and look? I just want to go look. Like, she didn't ask to lead a galactic invasion to this random solar system. She just asked to go look. And so that's a very dumb move. I would say it's completely within her jurisdiction to just grab a ship and go look. Take a couple fires and go look. If you don't see anything, you're fine. If you see a lot, maybe you should get more people over there, don't you think? Oh, and the senators that say no, they're very stupid. Here's what you have. A military convoy was attacked, a high-value prisoner has been taken, and you raided a shipyard that was building a massive hyperdrive for an unknown ship because it was way too big for any ship that you know of, and they got away with it, and you have a tracking device so you know where they are, and you don't want to go check this out. You're a freaking moron. And so she's a moron. The senator's a moron for having to ask, and the senator's a moron for telling her no. So Ahsoka and Sabine and her droid are on their own. And as soon as they enter the solar system, spoilers, by the way, if I didn't say that, as soon as they enter the solar system, all of their comms go down. You know, maybe you should turn around briefly and maybe do a very wide scan. Like, they're going towards the planet. Their comms are down. They can't call for help. And the robot hasn't finished his scan yet. Why don't you go back and just think through your options for a second before you go into unknown territory with no ability to call for help? Just a thought. But this chick right here, Shin, I think her name is, she's very cool. She's really cool. I think the actress that is playing her is doing a good job. Oh my God. So basically, Ahsoka finds the big ring. She starts shooting at her. And in typical Empire fashion, she can't hit. Crap. She's a Sith Lord, but she can't aim with beings. I guess she can't aim. But then the ring shoots Ahsoka's ship. And I was so frustrated when I saw this because it was such a cool scene. But Ahsoka steps out of the ship because the ship is floating dead in space. Ahsoka steps out of the ship in an oxygen in a spacesuit, pulls her lightsabers out, and this chick tries to shoot Ahsoka. Here's what's wrong with that. Okay, if I'm flying a ship with big guns on it, and I see that the main pilot of the ship that I'm trying to kill and capture has stepped outside of the ship and is now floating freely in space just above the ship, I'm not going to shoot her. I'm going to shoot her safe haven. I'm going to blow the ship into bits and leave her stranded floating in space so that when she runs out of oxygen, I can just pick her up and deliver her to my masters. But this chick is like, oh no, forget about that. Let's just try to hit the tiniest target possible. It's like, oh my God. It was a very cool scene. It was very good. I liked it. But the thought process here is, you shoot the ship. Shoot the ground that they're standing on so they lose all their balance and they can no longer fight you. And then you wait for them to run out of oxygen. And then you pick them up. So this chick is stupid. So the problem is it's disappointing because Ahsoka has a lot of promise. This show has promise. It feels like Star Wars. It really does. I love how they have a bit of a 70s vibes. I'm loving the Sith Lords. Ahsoka is still a little bit wooden. I'm not sure how I feel about her yet, but there's a lot to like here. But it's writing like this that just brings it down to being just a bit less than great, and it should be great. And I don't think we can necessarily blame Dave Filoni for that. I think we also have to blame Disney as a company, as a corporate conglomerate overall. They just haven't been churning out the best stories so far. And that's really, really sad. And all due respect to Dave Filoni, I'm sure he tried his best and he worked hard. There's heart in this show. He clearly... I'm excited for what's coming. I am excited. But right now, it's just sad that it's not living up to what it should have been. And also, in episode 3, why didn't we just get the forest fight at the end? They crash land on the planet, and the Sith are going to send droids into the forest. I feel like that fight, we'll have to see what happens in episode 4. But considering how short episode 3 was compared to episode 1 and 2, I feel like you could have just thrown that battle sequence in at the end of episode 3 and had more time to build whatever you're doing with episode 4. But I will say Baylan is really, really cool, and I'm really, really liking him as a Sith Lord. So those are my thoughts on Ahsoka episode 3 as a whole. It was good, kind of frustrating, but I'm not going to judge the show too harshly yet. I'm going to judge it as a whole when it is finished. And so those are my thoughts for now. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I have reviewed episodes 1 and 2. If you missed that last stream, you can check out that video right here. But let's move on to